Hi guys, it's Will again. This time I'm going to talk about part 2 of dating. My last video I basically mentioned I went on a date for a girl 4 hours drive away. Was it worth it? Well, let me explain in this video. I drove from Weymouth all the way to Nottingham for this girl. And to be fair, I did think this was worth it. From phone calls to video chats, you know, I felt like that was enough to finally meet. Yes, it took over a month to finally meet each other. Briefly, what happened was, our first date was at a church since we're both Christians. And then we had a lot planned throughout the day. Well, this video is going to explain what happened after, or what happens next from it. So, from the last video, we ended up at Nottingham Castle, which she was adamant to take me to. It was a beautiful castle, to be fair. The entrance with its large archways, the towers around it. It was quite nice, actually. So nice I would actually go again. So, where did we end up? Well, we did a lot prior to going to the castle. I went to her church. We went to the Cat Cafe. Went to the oldest bar in Nottingham. And now here we are at Nottingham Castle. Where would we go next? So, when we got into the castle itself, she actually got us in for free, which was really nice of Anne. The castle itself was actually gorgeous. Had a lot about the history, built in 1878, and most famously, stronghold for the Sheriff of Nottingham from the times of Robin Hood. And yeah, it was quite nice to know the history of Nottingham and the history of the castle itself. Yeah, but I pretty much just kind of followed Anne around the castle itself. It was a bit rushed because we only had a limited time in the castle itself before it closed. So we checked out the rooms, checked out the galleries, checked out the museum in the castle. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it if you ever get a chance. So after that, we were pretty much hurried out of the castle itself. So we walked around into town again, into the mall, and this is the bit where it went a little bit awkward, just a little bit quiet and so on. This was around probably 6:30. So we eventually decided to maybe grab a bite to eat. It was a little bit awkward leading up to that. The awkwardness was pretty much like, so what now? Type of lead. So I suggested, how about we do Japanese? Since I knew she liked Japanese food. So yeah, the types of topics I would usually talk about on a date is, of course, food. Like, what do you like to eat? If it was your birthday, where would you go? What type of restaurant? And so on. I feel like that's an easy thing to talk about during dates. The other thing is family. Like, you have brothers or sisters. Do you get along with them? What do they do? What's the age difference? Do you get along with your parents? And so on. I feel like that's another one that's easy to go to as well. The other topic I think is easy enough is, where would you like to travel to? If you had the dream place to go to, where are the places you've been, and so on. Yeah, so I think those are easy topics to talk about. Anyways, there's probably a lot to talk about, but generally, if you're struggling, those are the go-tos, I feel. Anyways, back to where we were, to the restaurant, the Japanese restaurant, to be sure. Yeah, so when we got there, we basically looked at the menu. There was a few awkward moments where we were just looking at the menu in silent. Um, and then we eventually ordered our food. I went for the go-to, the katsu curry. That's the usual I usually go for. Had sushi as well, dragon roll, and yeah, other things like that as well. But yeah, there was moments, don't get me wrong, there was maybe she was feeling nervous. I was definitely feeling nervous. Um, as the day wore on and stuff like that, it was getting late. We finished the dinner around 8. So from there, we had drinks. I wasn't having anything alcoholic, mainly because I don't drink, but also because I was driving. So from there, I came back from the toilet. To my surprise, she had actually paid for the bill. For that annoyed me a little bit. It's meant to be the guy's job. I usually do pay for the first date for sure. Anyways, from there, we basically walked out the restaurant and then walked into the town. I walked her back to her flat, and she actually said, "Would you like to stay over? It's pretty late, and you've got a 4-hour drive, and you guys are going to hate me for this. It might be the biggest mistake, but I actually said I should probably drive back. Yeah, probably the biggest mistake." So we went to the garage where my car was stored, and from there, she saw me drive away. Yeah, that's how the date ended. You guys are going to think, well, you missed the opportunity there. But, when thinking back on it, was there strong enough signs? Maybe, maybe not. Everything from the telling me to walk away and look around the bar, telling me to play with cats, and walking ahead of me. For me, it wasn't strong enough to say to stay over. So, driving back, I had the whole date running through my head. I had a lot of thinking time. 4 hours drive thinking time. Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's how the date finished, basically. Did we see each other from there? Well, we surprisingly did. If you want to know what happens, please do let me know. Or whatever happens continuing. Anyways, hopefully you have a good one. And yeah, dating's hard. Dating's very hard. Anyways, folks, yeah, I probably did think at some point in this car journey, I think she liked me. Well, whatever reason, it was too late. I am out of practice of dating, guys. It's been 8 years, so yeah, we did see each other again though, so something must have worked.